Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Down goes Stephanie Grisham. Down goes Stephanie Grisham. Wait a minute. Who's Stephanie Grisham? Oh, right. That would be the White House press secretary, Stephanie Grisham. Now, you may have forgotten who that is because you never saw her. Literally never held a press briefing since she became the press secretary. So yeah, I guess the job was a bit redundant because, well, I mean, he obviously didn't need a press secretary because he was serving as basically his own press secretary. And I mean Donald Trump, because in all the press briefings, especially about coronavirus, all you see is Donald Trump and members of his task force. And so it looks like she wasn't even like working. What was she doing? Now, CNN reported that Grisham was returning to the East Wing, where she would serve as First Lady Melania Trump's spokesperson and chief of staff. Now, she had worked for Melania Trump before, basically acting as, quote unquote, an enforcer, right? Somebody who, fights against, and this is, not my wording, it's their wording, fight against media misinformation directed or fake news directed at Melania Trump. And so that's the job that she used to do before taking the press secretary job. And now she's basically going to be going essentially back to that, right? So now, according to the report, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows has replaced her with Trump campaign spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany, right? So we'll get to her in a minute. Now, statement here from Grisham. She says, I continue to be honored to serve both the president and first lady in the administration. My replacements will be announced in the coming days, and I will stay in the West Wing to help with a smooth transition for as long as needed. Smooth transition from what exactly? You didn't do anything. You really weren't working, as far as I could tell. And according to that same report, in recent weeks, Grisham stopped regularly attending senior staff meetings and has not played a major role as the administration has dealt with the coronavirus outbreak. After Vice President Mike Pence was tasked to lead the task force, his communications team took over as well. So that's why, of course, we haven't seen Stephanie Grisham, or why she hasn't worked in weeks. Now, when she did work, all she was doing is defending Trump on Fox News. In fact, she rarely strayed from interviews with Fox News, which she did from the channel's Washington bureau, denying reporters a chance to question her during walk and talk gaggles on the White House driveway. So, that's, of course, when Trump sits and talks to reporters outside, that's basically chopper talk, right? Because you can always hear the helicopter in the background. And so that's where you would hear from the administration, not from the press secretary, who basically spent all her time avoiding the press. That was basically her job. Let's avoid the press, beat the press, or hide from the press. I mean, look, to be fair, at least she wasn't hiding in the bushes like a certain press secretary. But nonetheless, she found better ways to hide from the press, and that's literally just not going outside. Oh, great. Okay, so now to get back to hiding from the press, right? There wasn't a press briefing for over a year. That's why nobody sees her unless you're seeing her on Fox News. So now the question is, with Kayleigh McEnany, right, her replacement, will that change? Will we start getting regular press briefings again? Because let's be honest, those were pretty fun. I know some of you probably found them kind of annoying or just ridiculous because remember the last press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, basically spent all that time lying to the press, lying to the American people. Well, so is there going to be a difference with Kayleigh McEnany? Maybe. I mean, look, Kayleigh McEnany, well, okay, let me just go to her last appearance here. And we'll see what Kayleigh McEnany brings to the table.
Looking at the coronavirus and the president saying, look, we're not going to take people in from China right now. I mean, isn't it just a matter of protecting us, our national security really being at stake? And he's sort of the last line of defense there. or first
That's
line,
right.
I should say.
Absolutely. This president will always put America first. He will always protect American citizens. We will not see diseases like the coronavirus come here. We will not see terrorism come here. And isn't that refreshing when contrasting it with the awful presidency of President Obama?
Oops. Now, notice how she was being interviewed by Trish Reagan. Trish Reagan was fired from Fox News because of all the fake news she put out about coronavirus. And then here you have McEnany saying, well, coronavirus, they'll never make it here because Trump, America first. Ouch. Say hello to Donald Trump's brand new press secretary. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.